patient arrived on a wave of dust and slow-motion blood, dragged across the Mexican desert by a pack of dying men who had already outlived their time. His name is Pike Bishop. He is not a hero. He is not a villain. He is the leader of the Wild Bunch, a gang of aging outlaws who have one last job in them, maybe two if the whiskey holds. It is 1913. The automobile is replacing the horse. The railroad is stitching the country shut. And the West is not dying, it is being murdered. He says, when you side with a man, you stay with him. And if you can't do that, you're like some animal.
When you side with a man, you stay with him. And if you can't do that, you're like some animal. You're finished. We're finished.
That is not a code. That is a confession. I am the film Pathologist. Today, we are performing a post-mortem on a patient named The Wild Bunch, released 1969, directed by Sam Peckinpah, a man who earned the nickname Bloody Sam for cutting deeper than anyone had ever dared. Written by Wyland Green, Roy N. Sickner, and Peckinpah himself. Budget $6 million. Box office $11 million. A modest hit, a cultural earthquake, 2 Academy Award nominations, Best Screenplay and Best Score. It lost both. The patient arrived bleeding from the silver screen. First incision, the ambush. The film opens on a small Texas town. Children are laughing. Children are watching scorpions being eaten by ants. That is the first image. The laughter continues as a gang of men dressed as Union soldiers rides into town. They are here to rob a railroad office, but the railroad has hired a posse of bounty hunters led by Deke Thornton, a man who used to ride with Pike. It is a trap. The shooting begins. The children are still watching. A civilian is shot in the back. A woman is caught in the crossfire. The gang escapes, but the price is high. Pike looks back at the bodies. He says nothing. That is the first incision. Second incision. Thornton is not a villain. He is a man forced to hunt his former friends to stay out of prison. He rides with a pack of gutter trash bounty hunters who see dollar signs rather than people. Men who fire on civilians and railroad employees without a second thought. Thornton watches them. He hates them. He hates himself. He says, I used to be like them. I used to be like you. He is talking to Pike. He is talking to himself. The posse follows the gang into Mexico, but Thornton slows them down at every opportunity. He is not trying to catch Pike. He is trying to give him a head start. That is the second incision. The patient is hemorrhaging from the Brotherhood. The Brotherhood is called Betrayal. Third incision. The general, the rifles, and the woman who was shot. The gang crosses into Mexico. They meet General Mapache, a brutal, corrupt military commander fighting for the Mexican government. Mapache offers them gold to steal American rifles from a military train. They agree. They steal the rifles. Mapache pays them. But Angel, one of the gang, recognizes a woman among Mapache's followers. A woman he loves, who was taken by the general. Angel shoots her while she sits on Mapache's lap. He says, she was mine. Mapache lets it go for the heist, but later discovers Angel gave a crate of the stolen rifles to his local village. Mapache captures Angel. He drags him behind a truck. The gang watches. Pike says, let's go. Dutch says, we can't leave him. Pike says, we got no choice. They ride away with their gold. That is the third incision. The patient is flatlining. The flatline is called honor. Final incision, the walk back, the machine gun, and the blood that will not stop. The gang is riding away from Mapache's camp. They stop. Pike looks at his men, Dutch, the Gorch brothers. They look back at him. They do not speak. They turn their horses around. They ride back into the camp. They walk through the crowd of Mapache's soldiers. They do not draw their weapons. They walk to Mapache. Pike says, we came back for Angel. Mapache laughs, draws his knife, and slits Angel's throat right in front of them. Pike draws his gun. He shoots Mapache in the face. The compound explodes. The soldiers open fire. The gang is cut down. Pike, Dutch, Lyle, Tector, all of them, dying in a hail of bullets around a mounted machine gun. But they do not die alone. They take Mapache's entire regiment with them. It is a massacre. It is a suicide. Deke Thornton and his posse watch from the hills, riding down only after the smoke clears. And in the final shot, the children of the village, the ones who watch the scorpions, walk among the bodies. They pick up the fallen rifles. They become the next generation. The cycle continues. That is the cause of death, not the bullets, the legacy, the children who will grow up to kill, the diagnosis. The Wild Bunch is not a film about outlaws. It is a film about the death of the old world and the birth of the new. The old world was violent, yes, but it had a code. When you side with a man, you stay with him. The new world has no code. It has automobiles and railroad executives and bounty hunters who shoot civilians. The new world is not better, it is just more efficient. Peckinpah understood this. He set the film in 1913 on the eve of World War I, when the old order was about to be annihilated by industrial slaughter. The outlaws are not heroes, they are anachronisms, but they are more human than the men who hunt them. The violence is not gratuitous, it is liturgical. Every bullet is a prayer, every death is a sacrament. Peckinpah used slow motion and multi-angle editing to make the violence feel like a ritual. He wanted you to feel every impact, every fall, every final breath. He was not glorifying violence, he was mourning it. The film is an elegy, it is a funeral, and the corpse is the American myth. Pike is still walking through that camp. He has been walking for 57 years. He will never reach Mapache, because reaching Mapache means dying, and dying means becoming a legend, and becoming a legend means being forgotten by the children who pick up your guns. The children are still walking. They are still picking up the rifles. They are still becoming the next generation of killers. That is the cycle. That is the curse. That is the film. It does not warn you. It does not preach to you. It just shows you the bodies and the children and the laughter that never stops. The laughter is the sound of the cycle turning. The laughter is the sound of the West dying. The laughter is the sound of us. Go find The Wild Bunch. It is streaming on old school platforms and anywhere that hosts elegies for the dead. Watch it at night. Watch it with the volume up. And when the children walk through the bodies, do not look away. That is not a warning. That is a mirror. The children are us. The rifles are our screens. The cycle never ends. Before you go, there is another autopsy waiting for you. A woman on a staircase, refusing to lose, saying, "Tomorrow is another day." That film is called Gone with the Wind. Watch it. And when Scarlett O'Hara stands on that red clay hill and swears she will never be hungry again, remember Pike Bishop walking back into that camp to rescue a dead man. They are the same person. One is a survivor, one is a martyr. Both of them are already dead. They just haven't stopped walking. Good night.